It's all about strategy in these early moments. Jacobus Basson is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Jacobus Basson is looking relatively composed going through sunset.
There's a spot near here open for the spectators.
The adrenaline is pumping. Drian Griesel is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. Drian Griesel is driving through Clubhouse Bend.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
You can feel the tension building. JP Brand is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
JP Brand appears focused and prepared driving through Liukopt. This is where the mental game comes into play. Peter Geldenhuys is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
Peter Geldenhuys is looking relatively composed going through the crocodiles.
I have always loved this section of the track.
Hernis Basson is on their out lap.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Hernis Basson can deliver.
Hernis Basson is driving through the S's. It looks like Rian van der Westhuizen is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Rian van der Westhuizen handles it.
Rian van der Westhuizen appears focused and prepared driving through the crocodiles.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. As Hernis Basson completes their outlap, they will be hoping they have given themselves enough space on track to fully attack for their first flying lap. Hernis Basson is looking relatively composed going through Crowthorne.
There's a spot near here open for the spectators.
Chris Van Zyl will be looking to use this first hot lap to set a solid time in the standings.
It's certainly exciting to watch. But let's not forget, the goal is to secure a good starting position for the race.
Chris Van Zyl is driving through Clubhouse Bend. JP Brand is on their first flying lap.
Let's see if they can put a good marker down.
JP Brand appears focused and prepared driving through barbecue.
I have always loved this section of the track.
JP Brand is looking relatively composed going through Clubhouse Bend. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Hernis Basson is rising to the occasion. It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Jacobus Besson is nailing both.
Yes, they are. It takes a special kind of driver to thrive under this kind of pressure.
This is what it's all about. Ernest Besson is putting everything they've got into this qualifying session.
It's always impressive to see a driver in the zone like this, Lucy. Let's see if they can maintain this pace.
Ernest Besson is driving through Clubhouse Bend. Willie Van Wyck will be looking to use this first hot lap to set a solid time in the standings.
They certainly are. This is shaping up to be a great performance by Willie Van Wyck.
Willie Van Wyck is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.94 seconds down. Sean Olivier is up minus 0.48. Sean Olivier will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
It seems like Sean Olivier is struggling, currently 0.18 off their best pace.
Sean Olivier is likely taking a deep breath to try and refocus their efforts.
Jamie Ray Nichols is up minus 0.19.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do. Jamie Ray Nichols is just showing us all what they're made of.
Jamie Ray Nichols has some work to do, as that 154.463 is only good enough for 11th. Ronnie Jonker is up minus 0.16.
Looks like Ronnie Jonker is really cooking with gas out there today.
Ronnie Jonker has improved by minus 0.23 up through the S's.
Ronnie Jonker needs all the focus and resolve they can muster to maintain this pace.
Disappointing performance from Roinick Visser in this qualifying session. Currently in 16th position, they'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting position for the race.
I share your thoughts, Lucy. Roinick Visser is facing a setback in this qualifying session, but they have the resilience to bounce back. They need to stay positive, work closely with their engineers, and find the optimal strategy to make progress.
Impressive display by Peter Geldenhuys, currently sitting in position 3. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
You're absolutely right, Lucy. Peter Geldenhuys's current position of third reflects their strong qualifying performance. Now, they'll need to strategize and capitalize on this starting position.
Peter Geldenhuys appears focused and prepared driving through Liukop.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
It's an impressive showing by Sean Olivier in qualifying. They have set the bar high, leading the way with their exceptional performance. It's a fantastic position to be in, and they will be looking to convert it into a strong race result.
You're absolutely right, Lucy. Sean Olivier has asserted their authority on the track with their commanding performance. The gap between them and the rest of the field is quite significant.
A tough outing for Richard Footman in qualifying today. They currently sit in 14th position, which is far from ideal. However, there's a chance for them to regroup, analyze their data, and make some adjustments to their setup to improve their result. Richard Footman is looking relatively composed going through Cheetah. Joni Geldenhuys has secured a respectable fourth in the qualifying session. This is a great spot to use as a launchpad for a strong race performance.
Couldn't agree more, Lucy. Joni Geldenhuys has positioned themselves impressively in fourth. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
Joni Geldenhuys will be happy having put themselves into fourth in this qualifying session. Impressive work from Sandan Ilif, who has claimed 10th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure. Sandan Ilif has just completed a lap in 1:54.709. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. It's a very still day here at KYALAMI 2016-36 pits, as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The drivers are looking focused out there on the grid. I'm excited for this one, Lucy.
Sitting in second, it's Sean Olivier.
The South African driver will be focused on a good result from here.
Peter Geldenhuys is lining up third. In fourth place, we have Joni Geldenhuys. Coming in at fifth, we have Drian Griesel. Starting from sixth on the grid is a good position for Chris Van Zyl to launch an attack.
Chris Van Zyl will have wanted a better start than sixth.
As the engines roar to life, Ronnie Jonker prepares to take off from the 7th position on the starting grid. Jacobus Besson is 8th.
Who knows? They could be the dark horse that steals the show.
Robert Roelwink Koets is, and just like that, the race has started. Now, we'll see who has the skill and nerve to outmaneuver their rivals.
This is where the driver's true abilities will be put to the test. Staying calm and collected while pushing for the lead is the ultimate challenge.
All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up.
There are a few drivers with a point to prove, and a few with some grudges to bear. Let's hope they can keep it clean.
The racing is normally closely fought here at KYALAMI 2016 36 pits. I think we are in for a cracking race. There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is feeling out the drivers around them.
The first lap can always be a bit of a melee as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
It's like Roinick Visser had a pair of wings tucked away, because they've soared up the leaderboard in the blink of an eye.
Talk about hitting the ground running. But, as we know, it's not how you start but how you finish that counts.
Willy Van Wyck looks like they have got off to a flying first lap, gaining places straight out of the gate.
That certainly gives Willy Van Wyck an early advantage. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Ernest Besson will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable.
Get ready.
It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
Going green.
This is where experience comes into play. Willy Van Wyck has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but Ernest Besson is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
The tension is building as Sandon Ilif trails behind Ernest Besson. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Ernest Besson is pushing to maintain the lead, while Sandon Ilif is working to close in and challenge for the position.
Absolutely, Sandon Ilif in 12th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Things don't seem to be going Richard Footman's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Chris Van Zyl trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Robert Roelwink Koets. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Robert Roelwink Koets is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Chris Van Zyl in P4 doing everything they can to catch up.
A solid performance from Jacobus Besson, who is holding down 14th. It's a battle of wills out there, with Chris Van Zyl trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Robert Roelwink Koets. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish. This is where the race gets really interesting. Jamie Ray Nichols is closing in on Drian Griesel. That won't be ideal for JP Brand. No room for error here. Jamie Ray Nichols is breathing down the neck of Drian Griesel, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. Big gains for Jamie Ray Nichols as they move up the field, leaving Drian Griesel behind. Stop the press. Looks like that's a mistake from Richard Footman. This could be costly. The race is really heating up. Chris Van Zyl is hunting down Robert Roelwink Koets with everything they've got. Oh, this is getting intense. JP Brand is just a few car lengths behind Sandon Illich. Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Jamie Ray Nichols in 11th and Drian Griesel. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.4 seconds. Drian Griesel is running 12th. They are trying to catch Jamie Ray Nichols.
The gap is 0.3 seconds now. Drian Griesel is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Jamie Ray Nichols.
Hold up, breaking info. I don't think that's the fastest way around KYALAMI 2016 36 pits. This is getting exciting. Ernest Besson is looking for any gap that might open up the position. Oh dear, Ernest Besson has had an incident. The adrenaline is pumping as Rian van der Westhuizen gets within striking distance of Drian Griesel in their race for 9th. Things are heating up as Jacobus Besson closes in on Ernest Besson. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. Fantastic move from Jacobus Besson, who has just gained a position. Jamie Ray Nichols is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
Richard Footman is on a mission, chasing Ernest Besson, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
The gap between them is now just over 0.4 seconds.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Peter Geldenhuys is right behind Roinick Visser, keeping the pressure on for 7th place. Sandon Illich wants to close that gap with Rian van der Westhuizen.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble at the boundary of disaster.
Peter Geldenhuys is holding 8th, but Drian Griesel is right on their tail. Wow, Drian Griesel is really pushing hard to catch up to Peter Geldenhuys. There's blood in the water for 8th place. They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners. The pressure is on for Drian Griesel as they try to catch up to Peter Geldenhuys. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Richard Footman, who is currently in P15. But Ernest Besson is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Richard Footman. This is a thrilling battle as Drian Griesel edges closer to Peter Geldenhuys in their fight for P8.
The racing is getting tight between Drian Griesel and Peter Geldenhuys as they battle for P8. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
Looks like Sandon Ilif is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control. The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds. Can Sandon Ilif close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
Drian Griesel is giving it their all as they chase down Peter Geldenhuys in P8.
We'll have to wait to see if Drian Griesel can use the draft to their advantage, or if the lack of downforce will hinder their progress.
Peter Geldenhuys has been served a big slice of Eat My Dust by Drian Griesel. Hope they got their eating pants on. The race is heating up as Richard Footman in 15th closes in on Hernes Besson. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. This is going to be a nail-biter. Drian Griesel is defending for their life, but Peter Geldenhuys is right there doing everything they can to force a mistake.
That's right. Drian Griesel is showing some great form, and it looks like Peter Geldenhuys won't be able to catch up, barring any mistakes.
It looks like Peter Geldenhuys is pushing hard to catch up to Drian Griesel. That's not a small gap, but Peter Geldenhuys has what it takes to challenge for the position. Hold on to your hats, folks. Roynik Visser is right on the heels of Drian Griesel, and we're in for a wild ride. Oh, this is getting intense. Peter Geldenhuys is just behind Roynik Visser.
You know what they say, keep your friends close, and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Peter Geldenhuys is taking that advice to heart today.
This is what racing is all about, folks. Three fearless drivers pushing their machines to the absolute limit, inches apart. Talk about pressure. Rian van der Westhuizen is caught in the middle, feeling the heat from both Sandon Ilif and Peter Geldenhuys. Oh, the pressure is on for Rian van der Westhuizen. Trapped between Sandon Ilif 0.2 seconds away and Peter Geldenhuys just ahead with a gap of 0.1 seconds, they must defend their position while seeking an opportunity to advance.
Absolutely, Lucy. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are like windows of opportunity for Rian van der Westhuizen. They need to assess the timing and make their moves wisely to maximize their chances.
The action is non-stop as Roynik Visser shadows Rian van der Westhuizen through every twist and turn, determined to claim 8th. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Peter Geldenhuys is chasing Roynik Visser in P9. Good news for Peter Geldenhuys, the gap to Roynik Visser has decreased. It's now down to 0.1 seconds.
That's a great effort from Peter Geldenhuys. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
As we enjoy seeing these titans of the track battle it out, let's not forget about the pit crews. Those guys and girls are like a well-oiled machine themselves.
Absolutely, they're the unsung heroes of the racing world. But you know what they say, behind every great driver is an even greater pit crew.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Willy Van Wyck will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. It looks like Roynik Visser is all over Peter Geldenhuys. I think they are gonna press them through Jikskay sweep and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, Lucy, that's exactly what I would be doing here, as Peter Geldenhuys is gonna be aware of them riding their bumper. There is no room for error in this battle.
Every move counts now as Jacobus Besson works to reel in Roinick Visser and overtake for P10.
This is where every inch counts. Jacobus Besson is pushing hard to close the gap on Roinick Visser. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
It looks like Jean-Olivier has found another gear in the last sector of the race. The leader has just finished the race. A fantastic result for Jean-Olivier.
That was a true masterclass in driving from Jean-Olivier. You could see them making split-second decisions with total confidence, and it really paid off. What a performance.
What a fantastic race from Ronnie Jonker, who brings it home in second place. What a race from Chris Van Zyl, showing their skill and determination for a great third-place finish. Coming in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th we have JP Brand, Robert Rolwink Koets, Willy Van Wyck, and Drian Griesel. Rian van der Westhuizen, Peter Geldenhuys, Jacobus Besson, and Roinick Visser claim 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Sandon Iliffe, Jamie Ray Nichols, Hernis Besson, and Joni Geldenhuys take 12th, 13th, 14th, and 16th. Taking 15th is Richard Footman. Our second-place starter, Ronnie Jonker, is poised to make a move towards the front. Chris Van Zyl will begin the race from the third spot on the starting grid.
And like many others, they are starting the race on the Super's tyre compound.
Our fourth-place starter for today's race is none other than JP Brand. It's Robert Roelwink Koets, sitting comfortably in fifth. On the sixth grid slot we have Willy Van Wyck. Sitting in seventh is Drian Griesel.
But if they can find their rhythm early on, they could be a real threat.
In the middle of the pack, we have Rian van der Westhuizen starting from the 8th position on the grid.
Starting on the Super's tyre.
The green light signals the beginning of an epic race. As the drivers jostle for position, it's all about keeping their cool under pressure.
These first moments can set the tone for the rest of the race. It's all about keeping a clear head and making smart decisions.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position? Not the start that Willy Van Wyck wanted in this race. Seems they have been caught off guard from the get-go.
It's gonna mean more work for them, but they should be able to recover. It's early days yet, Lucy.
Peter Geldenhuys had better wake up a bit here, John, else they are going to find themselves pushed to the back if they don't get up to speed. They have already dropped down the running.
Not the best of starts, but it happens. I expect Peter Geldenhuys won't be there for long.
This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it. It's like Jacobus Basson started with a flat tire, slipping down the order right from the get-go. It's a close race between Sandon Iliffe and Ernest Basson in 13th. This is where the race gets really interesting. Joni Geldenhuys is closing in on Robert Roelwink Koets. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. The intensity is off the charts as Sandon Iliffe hounds Ernest Basson, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
With the way Sandon Iliffe is stalking Ernest Basson, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
Things are heating up as JP Brand tries to close the gap to Sean Olivier. The pursuit is on. Rian van der Westhuizen is closing the gap on Robert Roelwink Koets, determined to claim P7. The battle for 9 is heating up as Peter Geldenhuys tries to catch Roynik Visser in P9. Jacobus Basson wants to find a way round Jamie Ray Nichols.
They need to keep it on the road, or at the very least the rumble strips. The fastest way around is not usually in the grass. As the saying goes, too much weed will slow you down.
The race is really heating up. JP Brand is hunting down Sean Olivier with everything they've got. Oh, this is getting intense. Joni Geldenhuys is just a few car lengths behind Ronnie Jonker.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curbs. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
As they speed through sunset, Roynik Visser is relentlessly pursuing Robert Roelwink Coots in a high-stakes battle for position.
If things go wrong between Roynik Visser and Robert Roelwink Coots, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
Excellent work from Peter Geldenhuys, who has managed to increase their lead over Jamie Ray Nichols. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it.
That's a really strong performance from Peter Geldenhuys. They're not giving Jamie Ray Nichols any chances to catch up.
A strong showing from Robert Roelwink Coots, who is currently 13th.
Yes.
Braking development. Looks like that's a mistake from Sean Olivier. This could be costly. JP Brand is running second. They are trying to catch Sean Olivier.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. JP Brand should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Sean Olivier.
This is what it's all about, folks. Joni Geldenhuys is in hot pursuit of Ronnie Jonker, who's just trying to stay ahead. Superb driving from Joni Geldenhuys, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. Braking development. Looks like that's a mistake from Sean Olivier. This could be costly. The pressure is on for JP Brand as they try to catch up to Sean Olivier.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. JP Brand is really walking that fine line.
Ronnie Jonker seems to be putting the pressure on Joni Geldenhuys.
If you don't push the boundaries, you will never know where they are.
It's an intense battle for position as Jacobus Basson tries to outmaneuver Jamie Ray Nichols. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
Jacobus Basson has the pedal to the metal, chasing Sandon Illich. An impressive showing from Jacobus Basson, who has gained positions and left Sandon Illich in the dust. The pressure is on, but these drivers are showing tremendous respect for each other while going all out. It's a masterclass in clean, hard racing. It's a challenging situation for Sandon Illich. They're sandwiched between their fierce competitors, Robert Roelwink Coots 0.2 seconds away and Jacobus Basson 0.1 seconds ahead. They'll need to stay sharp and find an opportunity to make a move. Look at that, Robert Roelwink Coots is hot on the tail of Jacobus Basson.
Robert Roelwink Coots is looking to close the 0.4 second gap and make a pass.
A great moment for Robert Roelwink Coots, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Yes, Robert Roelwink Coots is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
Jacobus Basson is on a mission, chasing Robert Roelwink Coots, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. Looks like JP Brand is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Peter Geldenhuys in 7th chases after Rian van der Westhuizen. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Peter Geldenhuys needs to find a way to close the gap.
That's right, Peter Geldenhuys in 7th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Rian van der Westhuizen is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
The tension is building as Ernest Besson trails behind Robert Roelwink Koets. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Robert Roelwink Koets is pushing to maintain the lead, while Ernest Besson is working to close in and challenge for the position. JP Brand is giving it their all as they chase down Jean-Olivier in P1.
It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. JP Brand needs to stay patient and wait for Jean-Olivier to make a mistake.
The crowd is on its feet as Peter Geldenhuys chases down Rian van der Westhuizen through barbecue.
At this rate, Peter Geldenhuys and Rian van der Westhuizen are so close, they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
With just 0.4 seconds between them, JP Brand will need to close the gap to have hopes of a pass.
Things are heating up as Peter Geldenhuys tries to close the gap to Rian van der Westhuizen. It's a battle out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
If Richard Footman isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine, and trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
It's a battle for position as JP Brand tries to make a move on Jean-Olivier. This is what racing is all about.
Braking development. Looks like that's a mistake from Jean-Olivier. This could be costly. Peter Geldenhuys wants to get into Rian van der Westhuizen's slipstream.
And if you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
Great driving from Peter Geldenhuys, who has just gained a place and moved up to 6th.
Absolutely, Peter Geldenhuys is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
Oh dear, Peter Geldenhuys has dropped down to 7th.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Peter Geldenhuys needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
Peter Geldenhuys could be looking for a way up the inside of Jacobus Besson. In racing, anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown.
The only thing closer than Roenek Visser to Willy van Wyk right now is the paint on their cars. Talk about a close encounter.
JP Brand is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
This is a thrilling battle as Jacobus Besson edges closer to Rian van der Westhuizen in their fight for P6.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Jacobus Besson needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
He's pulling away. Peter Geldenhuys is increasing the gap to Jamie Ray Nichols.
That's exactly what Peter Geldenhuys needed to do.
Oh my, Roynik Visser is hot on the tail of Willy Van Wyck. As they come into Ingwe, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
When I was racing, we had a saying, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Roynik Visser is definitely living on the edge today.
Every move counts now as JP Brand works to reel in Sean Olivier and overtake for P1.
The mental game is just as important here. JP Brand must keep their cool while putting pressure on Sean Olivier.
It looks like Rian van der Westhuizen is in control. They're ahead of Jamie Ray Nichols by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Roynik Visser is breathing down the neck of Richard Footman, not giving them any room to relax.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. I would not bet on either racer at this point, as it's too close to call.
As we come into the final moments of this epic race, Sean Olivier is in the lead. Can they stay calm and bring home the bacon?
That's an impressive burst of speed. It's all but said and done now.
What a win! This is a historic moment for Sean Olivier, who put on a masterclass in driving today. What a display of skill and precision. Some might say that second place is the first loser, but JP Brand certainly doesn't see it that way. They put in a phenomenal effort and should be proud of their impressive result.
Intense race, but JP Brand held their nerve and earned a great second place.
Impressive drive from Drian Griesel to claim the final spot on the podium.
Fantastic result.
Joni Geldenhuys, Ronnie Jonker, Jacobus Besson, and Peter Geldenhuys in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. In 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, it's Rian van der Westhuizen, Jamie Ray Nichols, Robert Rolwink Koets, and Sandon Iliffe. 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th is Hernis Besson, Richard Footman, Roynik Visser, and Willy Van Wyck.